Hello world, Lana here on a gloomy, rainy Saturday, long weekend, Easter long weekend, and all I want to say is, I don't know, too much to say. I want to show off my new hair. What do we think? Went short again. The thought that I want to share is that something that I'm trying to become more aware of is treating my friendships as sacred, important relationships that aren't obviously secondary to my primary relationship with Greg, my husband. I know that it's, no matter what you're going to do, if you're married, for example, like that relationship is always going to be the hierarchy, at the top of the hierarchy. But making plans with friends and then canceling it if your spouse becomes available, or I don't know, just something that I want to actively be better at is making my friends feel prioritized as well. And that, like, they're not a fallback hangout, like they're just as important to me, but in different ways, because I think you need a network of people in your life, and sometimes friendships are the longest lasting relationships in your life. Not that I'm putting it out there, but if we're honest, a lot of marriages end in divorce, and I specifically didn't try and say like a lot of marriages are failures, because I think divorce is it's just a different stage in a relationship. You could stay amicable. That doesn't have to be the end of a relationship, but it could be a change in the relationship. But anyway, well, a lot of marriages end, and sometimes the friendships that were around before that marital relationship even started, continue long after the marriage has ended. And so, I don't know. I just think, like, I think in society we put love and put specifically romantic love at the top of the hierarchy of importance, but I think friendship love and like a familial love is, I don't know, arguably just as important, maybe even more important, because sometimes love and those like lustful romantic feelings can be fickle. And I don't know, your ride or dies, the people that love you no matter what, and they're not trying to get things out of you, they're not living with you, they're not having sexual relations with you, there's less riding on the relationship with you, but they continue to be there and show up for it and want to be in relationship with you. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's just important that we don't take those relationships for granted. And now the reason why I feel like this is on my mind more presently is because I was reading this book called Getting Off the Escalator. And in the book, there are different perspectives shared from folks in different kinds of relationship styles. And one of the, in a few different perspectives, there's sort of narrative that people interviewed, there's bits of narrative interjected into the book. And there are a few different pieces from solo polyamorous folks who talked about the feeling of loss of control in dating married people or other people in hierarchical relationships, in that their interactions with one person could be affected by that person's partner. So someone that they're not directly in relationship with, in what we would call metamour. And how, so if you have like a married couple and one of the people in the married couple is seeing someone else, that married couple may have certain boundaries, or their plans might change, or whatever. one of the partners might draw lines in the sand or change their minds about things, and that could totally change how their partner interacts with this other connection, in this case, like a solo poly person. And it can make them feel less important and like they don't have a say or they don't have a voice, and that they're kind of just taking what they can get, which can feel kind of crummy, you know? Not feeling like you have a voice, not feeling like you have power in a relationship generally doesn't feel good. Doesn't matter what kind of relationship style you are living. And it made me think about, and they also shared in the book perspectives from like relationship anarchists, for example, who often will, like it's sort of kind of no hierarchy, and these people often also regard friendships as just as sacred and important as romantic connections. And I just thought the principle of that was really cool, because yeah, if I put myself in my like single friend's shoes, they'll see me making decisions around my husband. And like, I think because in this society, marriage is pretty traditional and normal, and people do tend to hang out more with their married spouse, and spend less time with their friends after being married. But I don't know. I feel like maybe that's not always the best thing. I think it's important to maintain like connections and relationships and a network outside of your spouse, and I can just see it from, if I were outside my marriage, they would probably see me retreating a little bit, or just spending less time with them, or prioritizing Greg over them, and in a lot of cases that's good and that's fine and it makes sense, but I don't ever want other people to feel like they're, like a fallback or like second fiddle, or that they don't matter to me, or don't matter to me as much, or that I don't value like their feelings. And like, I want my friends to feel wanted, and like I want to hang out with them, and that I want to be considerate of them and be supporters in their life. And I don't ever want to feel like, I don't know, like